This is OwlUp, where learning happens in minutes, not hours. For a deeper journey, explore all our courses at owlup.co. Now, let's dive in. Welcome back to Chapter 2 of our series, Ethical Clarity, Transform Your Decision-Making. In this episode, titled Understanding Your Ethical Framework, we're going to explore the key components that shape your personal values and decision-making processes. So, whether you're curious about your own ethics or looking to refine them, let's dive in. About half of employees now check a company's ethics before they'll even join. Yet, most people can't clearly explain their own moral code. You're turning down jobs, ending relationships, and voting, guided by rules you've never actually put into words. Let's pull those rules into the light. Maybe you've noticed this. Two smart, decent people face the same dilemma and land on totally different, obviously right answers, and both feel baffled the other can't see it. That collision isn't random. It's your ethical frameworks grinding against each other, mostly out of sight. In this series, we're not chasing some abstract, perfect morality. We're tracing the very real patterns in how you already decide. When you defend a friend at a cost to yourself, when you keep quiet at work, when you stretch a rule just this once. We'll explore how duty, consequences, character, and care each tug on your choices, and how your upbringing, culture, and temperament quietly weight those pulls. The goal isn't to judge your framework, but to map it, so that in your next hard decision, you're steering on purpose instead of drifting on habits. Think of this step as moving from weather report to climate map. Instead of asking, was that choice right or wrong? We'll ask, what patterns keep showing up across my choices? Modern research helps here. Psychologists can predict your snap moral reactions from just a handful of questions, yet those reactions are surprisingly malleable when you slow down and examine them. Over this series, we'll zoom in on real moments, who you hire, which rules you actually break, when you speak up or stay silent, to uncover the stable settings behind your shifting daily forecasts. Here's the twist most people miss. Your values on paper and your values in action are not always the same system. One is the public story, what you'd say in an interview, what's written in your company handbook, what you post on social media. The other is the private pattern that shows up when you're tired, rushed, or no one is watching. Psychologists often uncover this gap with dilemmas that are deliberately uncomfortable. For example, you can tell the truth and seriously harm a colleague's career, or stay vague and protect them. You can follow a safety rule to the letter and delay a launch, or bend it because everyone does, and the risk feels tiny. Your instant reactions in these tensions act like a diagnostic test. Some people instinctively protect relationships first. Others default to rules are rules, even if the outcome stings. Some quietly run a mental cost-benefit analysis every time, whether they notice it or not. Modern research adds another layer. Context flips switches in your framework. You might be fiercely honest in friendships, but suddenly strategic with numbers at work. You might champion fairness in politics, yet play favorites with family. That doesn't mean you're hypocritical. It means your internal settings are more like a set of profiles than a single, unified mode. Work you, home you, anonymous online you. This is where reflection becomes powerful instead of vague. Rather than asking, am I a good person? You can ask much sharper questions. In which domains do I quietly relax my standards? Whose interests do I consistently prioritize when trade-offs get real? When I justify a choice after the fact, am I explaining or excusing? Noticing these patterns doesn't magically fix anything. What it does is give you levers. Once you see that your weekend self and your on-the-clock self answer ethical questions differently, you can decide whether that split fits the kind of person you want to become, or whether it's time to align those profiles, even when it costs you something. Notice when your inner rules conflict. Say your manager asks you to massage a client report. On paper, you value honesty, but you also value loyalty and job security. Do you push back, quietly soften the numbers, Or look for a third option like adding a clarifying footnote. Each micro-choice reveals which value you're willing to let lose when they can't all win. Or think of a friend who always pays everyone back to the cent, but routinely borrows ideas and jokes without credit. Their fairness dial is turned up in money, down in recognition. You'll find similar mismatched dials in yourself around time, attention, privacy, or promises. In team settings, these hidden settings collide. One teammate refuses to ship a feature until every bug is fixed. Another insists done is better than perfect. That clash isn't just about productivity. Underneath, it's a disagreement about what kind of harm matters most. Spotting those fault lines early lets you negotiate which value takes precedence in this specific context, instead of accusing each other of not having any. In the next decade, your default settings will be tested in stranger ways. AI filtering resumes, algorithms curating news, crypto communities voting on massive funds. You might be asked to approve a model that's accurate overall but fails specific groups, or to join a team whose mission is legal but feels off. Treat these moments like stress tests. They reveal where your lived priorities differ from your stated ones and where your future self might want stronger guardrails. Treat these insights less like a verdict and more like a draft blueprint. As new roles, technologies, and conflicts enter your life, they'll tug at different beams and joints. Your job isn't to freeze your views, but to keep stress testing them, tightening bolts, replacing weak supports, and noticing which structures you're finally ready to rebuild from the ground up. Try this experiment. For the next 24 hours, treat yourself as if you're a detective of your own ethics and carry a single question in your pocket, literally or on your phone. Is this decision leaning more toward outcomes, rules, or relationships? Each time you make a small choice, like responding to an email, deciding whether to cancel on a friend, or pushing a coworker on a deadline, pause for 5 seconds and tag it. Consequence first, outcome. Principle first, rule. Or person first, relationship. At the end of the day, look over your tags and circle the 3 moments where your choice felt most off or uncomfortable. Then imagine how a person who leads with a different ethical lens, for example, rule-based instead of outcome-based, would have handled that exact same moment. Tomorrow, pick just one of those moments you're likely to face again and deliberately try making the other lens choice instead. Then notice how it changes your stress level, your sense of integrity, and the reaction of the other person. This was OwlUp, your daily step forward. This series continues with more chapters on OwlUp.co. Visit OwlUp.co to access the complete course and continue your learning journey. See you there!